culture, every community, every corner of the world has a story to tell. And film can be a wonderful connection between powerful storytellers and eager audiences. Each year, Brisbane in Queensland, Australia supports the cause of filmmakers from far-flung territories by hosting the Asia Pacific Screen Awards. It's a celebration of cinematic excellence, cultural diversity and some breathtaking creativity. 2014 is the 8th year that Australia's New World City welcomes members of the Asia Pacific Screen Academy to ceremonies where they're honoured by their peers. And this time, the inaugural Brisbane Asia Pacific Film Festival is included in a very busy December cinematic program, so that locals and visitors can also experience many of the region's best films, scene by scene. APSA Academy President and Australian screen legend, Jack Thompson, takes pride in how the awards have developed and welcomes the chance to explain their significance to a room of filmmakers and Brisbane business leaders.
Asia Pacific Screen Awards. The screen is not simply a ubiquitous part of our lives. It is where your children will discover what it is they will talk about in the future. It's where they will be educated. It's where you pass information to your friends on a daily basis, and whether that screen is held in the hand, or whether it sits in a living room, or whether it is in a theatre or covers half the wall on a building. This is where you'll be warned of impending doom if it's around. This is where you will be entertained. This is where you will laugh. And this is the language that we share.
And from the opposite side of the world, former APSA jury president Lord Putnam weighs in. David Putnam is the independent producer behind a string of Oscar-winning films, including The Killing Fields, Chariots of Fire and Midnight Express.
What you're looking at is a region that's emerging as the, if you like, the superpower of cinema. At the moment, China's the second largest film market in the world. I've no doubt whatsoever that within 18 months, 2 years, it will emerge as the largest film market in the world. But the region in general is huge. It's around about a third of the global film-going audience, an enormous amount of investment coming into it, and a massive amount of talent.
Geographically, APSA's boundaries are vast, stretching from Russia to New Zealand and Turkey to the Cook Islands. That's 70 countries and areas, the home of 4.5 billion people. And the telling statistic is that it includes half the world's film production.
I'm looking at films I would never have seen before, largely made by people I had honestly never heard of, and just knocked my socks off.
Nominees from India, Iraq, Iraqi Kurdistan, Islamic Republic of Iran and Israel, from Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, New Zealand and the People's Republic of China and Hong Kong, from the Philippines, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Russian Federation, Singapore, Sri Lanka, the Syrian Arab Republic, Turkey, United Arab Emirates and of course Australia check their nerves by playing tourist as deliberations take place behind closed doors in Brisbane. The enormous task of determining the best of the best in Asia-Pacific film falls to a talented international jury that comes from very diverse backgrounds. For 8 days, they eat, sleep and dream Asia-Pacific cinema and come to know each other's tastes very well, as Palestinian actress Hiam Abbas explains.
If you take Asghar, he's just like this great director from Iran with a total different culture, to Medjek, who's an actor and who is such a charming person as well, beautiful, like intensive face, even when he judges the movies, and to Rajet, this beautiful, like hearted person, like really, I would call him Big Mama. To Crazy Anthony, who's totally, for me, like someone that really resembles to me when I was younger, in a way. And our dear Lou, who's very, very, very calm. He just doesn't say much, but when he says something, he really just hits the point.
For the first time, there is also a second jury tasked with judging youth, animation and documentary categories. Chair of the YAD jury is India's Neera Benegal. She has a long and successful career editing children's books and also advocates for a range of arts, including film, literature, music, architecture and design. She sits on the Film Selection Committee for the Mumbai International Film Festival. Otto Alder is from Switzerland and is an international animation specialist who serves on various juries and festival selection committees. He's a long-time member of the UNESCO-affiliated International Animated Film Association. China's Vivian Chu is a key figure in her country's independent film scene and an award-winning producer whose directorial debut, Trap Street, was selected for the Venice Film Festival and won a Grand Jury Prize in Boston. And Australia's Quentin Dempster is a Walkley Award-winning broadcaster, journalist and author with an Order of Australia for services to the media. The 2014 International Jury President, Asghar Farhadi, is himself a three-time APSA winner and an eminent writer, director, producer. He was the first Iranian filmmaker to win an Academy Award for A Separation and a Berlinale Golden Bear for About Ellie, and is a proud champion of the Iranian people.
With my first, second and third film, when I came out, always people ask me about situation in Iran and Iranian people, and most of them, they had wrong image from our country, and they mix image of system and government with image of people. I tried to say, no, you should correct your image, and not just me, other directors, other filmmakers, when they came out, they tried give a right image from that country to foreign people.
Juror Anthony Chen still remembers his first cinematic experience. At age 4, he was captivated by Bernardo Bertolucci's The Last Emperor. The Singaporean's own touching debut feature film, Ilo Ilo, won him an APSA for achievement in directing last year, along with about 30 other awards worldwide.
For me, I think it's not just about honoring. I think a lot of times the recognition is important because when certain films or certain work is being recognized, it makes people look at them. It makes people sort of discover them. It makes people curious about what's happening elsewhere within the region, in Russia, in China, in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Malaysia. And some of these cinemas, particularly in very, very specific countries, they're not very known, they're not very exposed, they're not very widely available. And because of a nomination, because of an award, it might actually expose that film. It might make other filmmakers or film lovers, it might pique their interest to go and check out those films, to buy a DVD of those films. And I think that's important because I feel that there needs to be constant exchange of knowledge, constant exchange of ideas, and that's how we could grow as a region together.
Hiyam Abbas joins the international jury, having won a Best Actress APSA for 2008's The Lemon Tree. The Palestinian also writes and directs and has almost 50 films to her name, including Oscar-nominated Munich and The Visitor.
The stories that interest me as an actress are good stories by the vision of someone else. The stories that I would like to write for directing, for me they're stories that have to be specifically aimed towards what I really want to share with humanity today, right? Which is stories of individuals that were marginalized by life. I think that the process of learning in life makes you want to be generous to others as well, and Not that I consider that I have really like a lot to give, but at least the little that I have, I would love to give.
Indian actor, producer and director Rajit Kapoor is a popular jury choice. He has an illustrious career across stage, television and film, and his long-time collaboration with the legendary Shyam Benegal led to his national award for Best Actor, playing Mahatma Gandhi in The Making of Mahatma.
I've worked in about 5 languages. I actually think in English, so English being almost like a primary language for me. There's the Indian language, which is Hindi, which I speak. I belong to a state called Maharashtra, so I speak and understand Marathi. My mother tongue is Punjabi, which makes it language 4. And I have worked in cinema in Bengali, which is from Bengal, as well as down south in Malayalam. I also happened to do a French play when I was out of college, so I did study a little bit of French when I was out of university. But I love languages. I think I'm blessed. I have a knack for them, so I love exploring new dialects and things like that.
Academy Award-nominated cinematographer Liu Ye won an APSA in 2010 for Aftershock. It was a Chinese box office record breaker, and his eye for a great shot makes him an invaluable addition to the jury.
亚太电影节可能会有很多民族、国家、地区，它是有自己的问题，或者提出自己的习惯、自己的主要是问题哈，还有一个是不同的地域的这种文化，我自己觉得是不一样的这个。
Polish actor and comedian Maciej Stur comes to Australia and sits on the jury as an ambassador of the European Film Academy.
First of all, I've never been to Australia before, and the second question is that connection between European and Asia-Pacific films should be as tight as possible, because we're representing sometimes different culture, but as you can easily see watching those movies, those connections are almost everywhere.
It was not easy for me, neither as a Palestinian in Israel nor as a woman in a very traditional society, to be able to do what I wanted to do, which means just love, act, live, and be myself.
Each member of both juries arrives in Brisbane and the Asia Pacific Screen Awards with an insight into the current state of the film industry in their particular region. Last year, India celebrated 100 years of the moving image, and Rajit Kapoor believes a new wave of storytelling that steps away from the traditional song and dance genre is currently finding its feet in his country.
There are some fantastic new voices that have found expression in world cinema today from India. Anurag Kashyap, Dibakar Banerjee, Abhishek Kapoor. In fact, in India today, it's not difficult to raise money to make a film, but it's difficult to market and distribute a film. And in spite of those problems, the way these young voices have found channels in the outside, not just in the West, but all across the world, is wonderful, because there are so many stories to tell in India.
The exchange between filmmakers is bigger and bigger. A lot of, for example, in my country, in Poland, a lot of Indian movies are shot right now. So it's wonderful. I hope I will be in one of them.
Right now, everybody in China wants to make a film, so that's a good thing. Even though the level of film can vary very much, but I think it's a encouraging thing that, you know, at least people's attention is on the films, and the theater, the growth of the screens is incredible. We have 22,000 screens now in China, which is tenfold compared to maybe 7 years ago. So audiences are really going into the theater to watch films, something that we didn't think would happen, certainly not so quickly.
这好些厂听说煤堆下面有死人，都不敢开工的。 在中国你们还不够。
Even though now what they want to watch is comedies and romantic comedies or thrillers, but I'm sure in the future they would want more variety, good quality films.
Animation specialist Otto Alder is looking to China, Korea and Japan for emerging talent.
In the past, it used to be industry which was doing commissioned work for foreign countries, you know, like United States. But meanwhile, they developed also on the creative side, and they bring up national contents from this region. And to see this development rapidly developing, yeah, this was for me the most amazing to see during the last years. Korea is the country with the most animation schools around the world. You see, in this small country, there are about more than 200 schools. And of course, out of these schools, there come young talents. And these people, they really highly motivated.
According to Hiam Abbas, the greatest hurdle for talented Palestinian filmmakers to clear is funding.
It's so hard to fundraise a movie, a Palestinian movie, because basically we don't have a country that just gives you the funds. And if you are a Palestinian from Lebanon, you're not considered as Lebanese. If you're a Palestinian from Israel, you can get the Israeli money, but then the Arab world would boycott you because you accepted the Israeli money. If you are French, it's easier for you, but you're making a movie in a foreign language. It's the process of making movies in Palestine is an issue for me. It's a subject by itself, you know, so it's, and we're not very many, really.
In my country, they make 100 films in each year. Maybe 80% of this film is, like everywhere, is commercial, and 20% you can look to them not just as a commercial, and there's several layers. And I think for foreign people, this cinema is very new because this language is very fresh. It's very new for other countries, foreign people. Because first, it's very simple. You can follow the story very easily, you know. And there is no sex, there is no violence. And it help for being close to real life and daily life.
Anthony Chen hesitates to find a connection with the Singaporean film industry.
I'm more interested now in why can't I be an international filmmaker who happens to be Singaporean. I think that's the only way an Asian filmmaker, an Asian practitioner could actually be playing at the top of the game. And I believe that the best of cinema is one that, you know, transcends borders and language and all of that. And for me, that is more important.
When we work across different countries, there are lots of political issues, economic and business issues, but soft diplomacy, such as cultural events, really helps bring people together across national borders. It connects people. It actually removes the differences, because at the end of the day, we have more similarities than differences.
Original 250 film contenders from 42 countries is whittled down to 36 nominees from 21 countries who are in the running for an APSA. And with their deadline looming, jury members take different approaches to choosing winners.
I love watching films, and I'm really enjoying the experience because it's APSA is great. You know, some of the other jury members, they're wonderful. A lot of them have got, you know, excellent, you know, impeccable taste. I love, having debates and talking about cinema. I think that's very inspiring for me. And it's so wonderful to be looking at all these films and getting a real sense of a whole year in Asia-Pacific filmmaking. You really feel so proud, of being a part of this region and seeing that, oh, we've got so much to give. We've got so much to show the world.
It's just like such an enriching process in life. It's so beautiful to be able to have like almost how would I say, some kind of like condensed lesson in life, in the acceptance of the other, of the acceptance of the difference of the other, which we're really lacking a lot in our lives today.
As a jury member, it's very hard for me because when I'm watching a film, I watch a film by my heart. And after a film, I don't remember what happened during film with me. I should stay, think about details and acting, directing, script. When I'm watching film, all of these elements are together. I can't separate acting from script, because it is very hard. But I'm honest with myself as a jury member. If film and story stays with me for a long time, it means this film is good film.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the 8th Annual Asia Pacific Screen Awards, coming to you from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia.
Tonight we come together to acclaim films that unlock our deepest emotions, toy with our darkest fears, and yet provide hope that from even the most dire of circumstances, a new dawn can emerge.
The Asia Pacific Screen Awards reminds us that in a world of diversity, we share a common goal and a mutual desire to chart our experiences using the universal language of film.
So cinema takes centre stage, and a collection of powerful documentaries sets the tone for a night of exemplary work. But it's an Iraqi film called 1001 Apples, about a survivor of the Al-Anfal genocide and the fruit he shares on a pilgrimage of forgiveness that is the standout documentary feature.
It was very inspiring to see a film, a documentary, but at the same time the director really had an eye for narrative, how he reveals slowly the story of the apple with cloves, how he has such a big heart, how he treats the theme of Holocaust, of a horrific crime, with not just forgiveness, but a desire to understand, a desire to really bring peace to people. Even when I talk about it now, it brings tears to my eyes. It's a beautiful film.
يمشاتينو ريتقيتاتينو خان نما نما نم را نما منال نما اختيار ما اختيار هاتو تو.
Tragically, Kurdish filmmaker Taha Karimi passed away following production, so it's left to his brother to accept the award. Hari does so with a special dedication to his parents, who lost 2 sons in the space of 1 year. Then he is overcome with emotion.
Every time my brother say to everyone, to our family, and it's also the message of 1001 apple, that we are partner in this world. And so when we are partner, let's we love each other, let's we accept the differences, let's accept the others, religion, culture, thinking, and everyone.
A coming-of-age story from Turkey called Sivas about a boy and his fighting dog is a remarkable debut and the winner of Best Youth Feature Film for Yasin Mustaji.
It's coming from deep East Turkey, and seeing how a young director is really coping a story which is deeply rooted in the culture of this country. This is outstanding, and this brings us images and stories which we not know, but we have to know. And this is achievement, I think, of this Asian Pacific Screen Award.
The dogs is very difficult. The child is very difficult, and I think it's very difficult job together to work my first feature film. And because of that, because I don't feel a bad things in this film. This child, this dog. It was very easy for me. Because of that, I'm proud of.
I was just wondering how these people manage to produce films like that. You know, where is the money coming from? Where is the expertise coming from? But really, in all the films we have seen, it was amazing how the directors depict the subject and how they was really transforming it into strong drama.
APSA is an active academy that involves itself in mentorships and financial support. The APSA Academy Children's Film Fund supports the development of life-affirming scripts about kids of the Asia Pacific. In 2014, 2 $20,000 grants are awarded to APSA Academy members, Andrew Pike and Shilpa Renee. As juror Otto Alder mentions, there is a strong original work coming from Asia-Pacific regions in the field of animation. But the retelling of a Japanese folk story is APSA's best animated feature film. The Tale of Princess Kaguya is from Japan's renowned Studio Ghibli.
You know, when we, the jury, could see Princess Kaguya here in Brisbane, all members of jury was really touched, because this film is very strong. And it is strong because it's deeply rooted in Japanese culture, and it has a very, very important message, how we should deal, you know, with nature, with ecological questions. Even without mentioning it, the film was touching us all. And you know, the style and the technique of this film, which is actually traditional animation. You know, they use the pencil, they use the paper, and they achieve poesy, pure poesy. And this was so touching, and we all was like, wow.
Great writing is always at the heart of any great film. French film director Robert Bresson said, "The most ordinary word, when put into its place, suddenly acquires brilliance." And that is the brilliance with which your images must shine.
And the 8th annual APSA for Best Screenplay goes to Nima Javadi from the Islamic Republic of Iran for the family drama Melbourne, which was recently awarded Best Film at the Cairo Film Festival.
I'm very excited. You know, this is very important for me. This is a prize for his script. And I think that the script is the most important part of a movie. And yeah, I'm very excited.
A collection of the finest APSA-nominated films will invariably deliver stunning portrayals of a rich tapestry of exotic locations. Liu Ye has been part of some great films, but as last year's winning cinematographer, he's inspired by his experience on this year's jury.
学到很多东西，我自己觉得，尤其是看到一些我常人看不到的哈，比如像菲律宾的电影或者斯里兰卡电影，有这么多人在拍，而且是跟我自己的家乡的宗教、民族习惯、气候不同，看待生死的观念也不同，宗教不同哈，我自己觉得是开眼界的，是能看到很多东西啊，世上还有人这么想事情，这么编故事。
The 2014 award for achievement in cinematography goes to Don Jingsong for his work on Black Coal Thin Ice. Lu's fellow juror, Vivian Chu, is the film's producer and already has a Golden Bear from the Berlin International Film Festival for this Chinese whodunit.
The win in Berlin really came as a surprise. We didn't expect that. And that really helped the career of the film. Because in China, to promote an art house film is very difficult. The fact that this is the only award for Asia Pacific, I think is already very important. And as an Asian myself, I think it's really important that we do focus, or at least part of our focus should be on ourselves and our neighbors, and understand how we grow as a film industry.
The International Federation of Film Producers Associations represents the interests of screen producers around the world. And this year, the FIAP award goes to dynamic Australian producer Emil Sherman.
Listen to me! Why should I waste my time listening to you? Because I have a voice! Yes, you do.
The King's Speech was one of his first collaborations with Britain's Ian Canning for their company Seesaw Films, and Sherman has a reputation for choosing incredible true stories.
This is such a huge honour, and I'd like to thank the Executive Committee of FIAP and the President of FIAP, Luis Alberto Scalela, for this award.
Acting during this year's screenings, that was probably the best thing. Most of film are really good casted, and the acting is really marvelous.
In fact, the jury decides to award 2 special mentions in the Best Performance categories. The first to award-winning Iranian actress Merila Zarai for her performance in Track 143. She's already appeared in 3 APSA-nominated films.
می‌ترسم دم وا کنم یه حرف چیزی بزنم غیبتی چیزی بشه تو بره بدیهی یونسم باشم بیارم.
Iconic Indigenous Australian actor David Galpalil also earned special mention for his Cannes award-winning performance in Charlie's Country.
Alcohol and cigarette kill my body of universe. So I quit everything, so I'm going back to bush, reverse. It's hard to find a track, but I do, because I'm a hunter.
It's 我觉得可能得有一些像这个要跟导演要跟演员可能应该有个讨论，还有就是评委，我自己觉得，我喜欢这个影片给我们介绍了这个地域，就等于说是 Aboriginal 这个 他们的生活方式，我自己看到他的生活方式，或者说他出去以后的生活方式，还有就是他到了大城市、都市的这种生活方式，对我来说，我是第一次看到。
No worries, I got it, mate. And thank you. And cut.
And Best Performance by an Actress is awarded to China's Lu Zhong for Red Amnesia. The veteran stage performer is absolutely delighted by her win, given it's her first lead role in a feature film.
你谁呀？
干嘛？
看来我这个奖项得的真不容易，我更要珍惜它。非常高兴得到这份荣誉，谢谢大家，谢谢。
In a final nod to performances, New Zealander Cliff Curtis makes a dash across the Tasman to accept the Best Performance by an Actor award for his role as Genesis Patini in The Dark Horse. Curtis gained 30 kilos to play the one-time Maori speed chess champion who lived with bipolar.
I'm going to lead you all to the National Chess Championships up in Auckland in 6 weeks' time.
To go all the way to that wonderful, strange, beautiful mind of Genesis.
Hey, you want to play? Want to play again? Come on.
There's something really inspiring and touching and moving about people that can find a way in life to bring light into their own lives and to create hope for themselves, but not just for themselves, but to contribute to their community and help others see a way forward. Sometimes individuals, sometimes communities rise up despite huge odds, you know. And sometimes it's a small, intimate story, sometimes, you know, but it's just that sense of hope and faith. Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful learning day. We can all learn, can't we? Every day's a learning day.
As always, achievement in directing is a prestigious and hotly contested APSA award. And Turkey's Nure Bilge Ceylan is honoured for Winter Sleep. It was this year's winner of Cannes Palme d'Or, and producer Zeynep Ozbatur Atakan proudly accepts on his behalf. The pair has worked together for 11 years, and she is a former APSA International Jury member.
APSA is very important for the cinema of Turkey because, you know, you can find, you know, normally we look always European side and the West. But it's a very good thing to look the other side of the world. It's very important for me.
You know that I could see Winter Sleep here on the festival. It was for me one of the highlights. When I see these landscapes of Anatolia, which we are not used to see, we have our, you know, industrial, city-wise, modern world images in mind. And suddenly there is coming a drama out of a region we are not know. And this is, for me, really great, great filmmaking cinema.
Yumuşak olup ne yapıyoruz ki? Ödemeni veriyoruz avukata, dayıyoruz icrayı. Daha ne yapacağız?
Vallahi Aydın Bey, yani aslında bunlara yapacak çok şey var da. Neyse.
Amazing, I had to come to Australia, to Brisbane to see this film, yeah.
Şimdi çok yorgunum. Asian cinema is very important. Asian and Pacific. And it's growing up nowadays because the creativity, this is human emotions and everything. It's reflecting very well in Asian cinema.
Years ago, APSA and the Motion Picture Association joined forces to create a development fund to support the region's leading filmmakers.
It's that first stage, what we call the inception stage, if we use that term. It's that point, that first step that becomes so important for any creative process, be it a play or film. And here, when you have such a fund available, you know, and the means to offer development for script writing, I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Tonight, a further $100,000 will be awarded to 4 deserving APSA Academy members to help them bring their individual stories to international screens. And our first recipient is Dror Murray from Israel for Corridors of Power. Our second recipient is On Screen Off Record by Denmark's Simbjørn Sorensen.
Please also congratulate Mustafa Sawar Faruqi from Bangladesh for his dark satirical drama, No Land's Man. The final recipient is Flower, submitted by Jafar Panahi from the Islamic Republic of Iran on behalf of his son, director Pana Panahi.
Just 2 weeks ago, we rejoiced in the success of a film from one of our most courageous filmmakers, Mariam Ebrahini's documentary, No Burkas Behind Bars, which won the prestigious Documentary International Emmy Award. In 2011, Mariam was a recipient of an APSA MPA development grant, one of 20 now granted. In addition, we are so proud to have our most high-profile APSA MPA development grant recipient, Mr. Asghar Farhadi, with us this year as International Jury President. Asghar has had 2 films in competition at APSA, About Ellie and A Separation, the latter of which went on to win almost 50 awards internationally, including an Oscar, Golden Globe, Golden Bear, and of course APSA for Best Film.
360 film projects from APSA Academy members have been submitted. Writer-director Shaukat Amin Korki from Iraqi Kurdistan was a recipient in 2011 for his post-war feature, Memories on Stone. It's a powerful tale of 2 friends who decide to produce a film about the Al-Anfal Kurdish genocide, and it follows the problems that beset their shoot. Tonight's APSA's relationship with the film comes full circle.
The winner of the UNESCO Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Promotion and Preservation of Cultural Diversity through Film. The winner, Memories on Stone from Iraqi Kurdistan.
I really feel happy because it was a difficult movie, and it takes 2 years to do this film, and because film is about a tragedy in Kurdistan, which still there is another tragic situation, and Kurdish people are in struggle with ISIS in the area, in the region.
Poland's Maciej Stur is fascinated by the diversity of cultures, languages and alphabets he's experienced during his days of jury screenings, including interesting approaches to storytelling.
If I had to deal with such kind of story, I would invent different ways to tell the audience about them. For example, a Chinese movie, Blind Massage, is absolutely marvelous, and it's so different than European and American movies. I really love that movie.
拍的时候给我们口令啊，我们一起喊沙宗齐，哈哈哈啊！
Blind Massage is awarded the first of 2 grand jury prizes.
看你停了再走吧。
不行，我走回去。
那我送你啊，一个人走太危险了。
那我再待会儿。
好啊。
The second goes to leading Iranian female filmmaker Rakshan Bani-Etamord for directing Tales. Bani-Etamord received the Best Screenplay Award for Tales at the Venice Film Festival and is known for bringing social issues to the big screen.
I think the stories that I tell in Tales, it's some of them are the global human beings. It's not especially for Iran. Lots of problems that in the whole of the world, the people. but the most important is the sympathy between the people, how they can deal with the social difficulty and understanding each other. And all characters, they come from a background that I live with them in whole my career. And they are very known to me, and I feel them and I understand their situations.
And a grand sweeping drama that is a searing critique of local government corruption in the Russian Federation is the APSA International Jury's choice for Best Feature Film.
The best film goes to Leviathan from the Russian Federation.
Leviathan is set near the farthest northern border of the Asia-Pacific region. Its director, Andrei Zavagensvov, shares his acceptance of the award from across the world.
Я очень благодарен всем членам жюри, которые проголосовали за нашу картину, за столь высокую оценку нашей картины. Спасибо вам огромное и всем всего доброго.
If you don't know your own culture, you will never accept the culture of another. But I think when you know your own culture, it opens your mind to other people. The problem all over the world right now, if we want to be political, is that there is a problem of hospitality. People just don't accept each other. Cultures, almost my difference is a threat to you. But like, basically once I get to know you, suddenly we just find on the human basics, like so many things in common, whether you're Australian or I am Palestinian or another fellow is like Asian from wherever, you know, in Asia or Europe or the whole world. It's just like these barriers of that fear that we have developed across like centuries, just like breaks in front of you, and you only see human beings. You only see people.
I'm very glad that there is not only an Oscar, that there is somewhere on the other side of the world. But I feel the quality of the films is much stronger because there is less mainstream and much more art. And that's very important. We need art and less entertainment. I'm sorry, but this is my opinion.
Even when I travel with my own film to different countries, different festivals, I realize we actually don't know each other that well. And you know, I get very different questions from audiences in different places. Some people have no idea what China is like now. Their image of China could be still from 20 years ago. So for me, I think what film festivals do the best is really to bring different culture to our little world and to connect us. And this is also so great, what's so great about the Asia Pacific screenings.
If we're bringing out these stories to people, it's to be able to tell the world that we're basically sharing the same emotions, so that you can enjoy a movie that speaks a different language, right? But you still would learn and understand and accept that difference.
APSA is a window on a world of cinema which is increasingly important and will, I think, my own view, will eventually end up being dominant. I'm looking at work coming out of Asia which is as good or better than anything I'm seeing from anywhere else. It's got more energy, it's got more kind of cultural integrity. Sometimes the storytelling is just plain better than I'm seeing anywhere else.